Let's detail the inner court to see the names of the 3 rear palaces, the 6 eastern palaces, and the 6 western palaces, the earthly counterpart of the 15 stars in the Zui enclosure. The 3 rear palaces refer to the Palace of Heavenly Purity, the Hall of Union, and the Palace of Earthly Tranquility, that is, Qianqing Gong, Jiaotai Dian, and Kunning Gong. The Palace of Heavenly Purity is in the south, the Hall of Union is in the middle, while the Palace of Earthly Tranquility is in the north. In Ming Dynasty, the Palace of Heavenly Purity was the residence of the empress. In Qing Dynasty, hanging high above the throne in it was a signboard inscribed with justice and honor by the Shunzhi Emperor, that is, Aishinjuro Fuling, the 3rd Qing Emperor. The Shunzhi Emperor was one of the leading roles in the TV series Empress Dowager Xiao Zhuang, and that TV series starred Yan Kun as the Shunzhi Emperor. Later, the Yongzheng Emperor, Aishinjuro Yunzheng, the 5th Qing Emperor, initiated the custom of placing the name of the heir apparent in the box that was hidden behind this signboard, Jian Chu Xia. But from the Yongzheng Emperor, the Qing emperors lived in the hall of mental cultivation out of respect of Emperor Kangxi, Yongzheng's father, the 4th Qing Emperor. In the Ming Dynasty, the Palace of Earthly Tranquility was the residence of the empress. In the Qing Dynasty, large proportions of the Palace of Earthly Tranquility were converted for shamanist worship by the new Manchu rulers. From the reign of the Yongzheng Emperor, the empress moved out of the Palace of Earthly Tranquility. In between them was the Hall of Union, Jiaotai Dian, where yin and yang mixed to produce harmony. Just as the Book of Changes put it, the Trigrams for heaven and earth in communication together form harmony. 天地交泰. That's all about the layout of the 3 rear palaces, the Palace of Heavenly Purity, the Hall of Union, and the Palace of Earthly Tranquility. The 6 eastern palaces are in the east of the 3 rear palaces. They are the Palace of Great Benevolence, Jin, Ren, Gong, the Palace of Celestial Favor, Cheng, Qian, Gong, the Palace of Accumulated Purity, Zhong, Cui, Gong, the Palace of Great Brilliance, Jin, Yang, Gong, the Palace of Eternal Harmony, Yong, He, Gong, and the Palace of Prolonging Happiness, Yan, Xi, Gong. Concerning the Palace of Great Benevolence, historically, the Kangxi Emperor, Aishinjuro Xuanye, the 4th Qing Emperor, was born in the Palace of Great Benevolence in 1654. In the TV series The Legend of Zhen Huan, the Yongzheng's Empress Wunara Yishu lived in the Palace of Great Benevolence. She was very cunning, but eventually defeated by Zhen Huan. About the Palace of Accumulated Purity, in the TV series The Legend of Zhen Huan, Yu Ying'er, one of Yongzheng's concubines, lived there. She pretended to be Zhen Huan and won the heart of Yongzheng. Later on, Yu's jealousy and conceit made her poison Zhen Huan, but failed. With such failure and her pretensions detected, her tragic fate was obvious. Cold palace first, and then death. regarding the palace of prolonged happiness, in the TV series The Legend of Zhen Huan, An Ningrong lived there. She used to be one of Zhen Huan's close friends, and later their friendship broke up out of jealousy and desire. The Palace of Prolonged Happiness is a 3-decked Western building. Its 2-layered glass walls had fish swimming between the panes, and its metal framework was mainly built with white marble stones, with the carvings on the outer wall and porcelain tiles on the inner wall. Due to political reasons, the Palace of Prolonged Happiness was not completed. Consequently, happiness cannot be prolonged as it tends to. The 6 Western palaces are in the west of 3 rare palaces. They are the Palace of Eternal Longevity, Yong Shou Gong; the Palace of Earthly Honor, Yi Kun Gong; the Palace of Gathered Elegance, Chu Xiu Gong; the Palace of Universal Happiness, Xian Fu Gong; the Palace of Eternal Spring, Chang Chun Gong; and the Hall of Supreme Principle, Tai Ji Dian. The Palace of Eternal Longevity became the second residence of Zhen Huan after her stay in the imperial monastery for 3 years. During Ming Dynasty, it used to be the residence of the empress, but in Qing Dynasty, it became a residence for some important imperial concubines. The Palace of Earthly Honor inhabited Consort Hua, Nian Shi Nan, in the TV series The Legend of Zhen Huan, but historically it was the residence of empresses and concubines, and in the Ming and Qing dynasties. It was also where Empress Dowager Cixi would receive respect from imperial concubines. Empress Dowager Cixi from Yehe Nara clan also correlated with another palace in the 6 Western palaces, the Palace of Gathered Elegance. She lived there when she was young as a consort Yi. It was in the rear hall that she gave birth to Zai Chun, the 10th Qing Emperor Tongzhi, the only son of the Xianfeng Emperor, the 9th Qing Emperor. As for the legend of Zhen Huan, the imperial concubine Qi from Guojia clan lived in the Palace of Gathered Elegance. She challenged Zhen Huan by tricks, and later, she who played fire would be burnt. As for the Palace of Universal Happiness, Consort Jing, Feng Ruozhao lived there in the TV series The Legend of Zhen Huan. Historically, the Jiaqing Emperor, the 7th Qing Emperor, observed mourning for the Qianlong Emperor, Aishinzhuo Hongli, the 6th Qing Emperor. In this palace, so did Xianfeng Emperor for Daoguang Emperor, the 8th Qing Emperor. Architecturally, it was the symmetrical counterparts with the Palace of Great Brilliance in the 6 Eastern palaces. The Palace of Eternal Spring was the residence of a consort Qi in the TV series Legend of Zhen Huan. She gave birth to the 3rd son of Yongzheng Emperor. The palace is well known for a series of 18 paintings of scenes from the Dream of Red Mansions on the walls of the corridors around its courtyard. During Ming Dynasty, the Hall of Supreme Principle was the residence of consorts and concubines. Late in Qing Dynasty, the Empress Dowager Cixi and Long Yu, Empress Guangxu once resided here. That's about the architectural layout of the inner court of the Forbidden City.